and 8 NDL testing.
Amateur radio newsline will start in 5 minutes.
W8WKY. Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2373 with a release date of Friday, April 21st, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. In the U.S., the FCC commits itself to managing satellites more effectively. 2 losses hit the World Radio Sport Team Championship, and Nokia and NASA look at putting wireless on the moon. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2373 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
Our top story takes us to Washington, D.C., where 2 new FCC offices are taking a closer look at how to better handle all those satellites in orbit high above our planet. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, brings us up to date. Hoping to get a better handle on regulating satellites and reducing the effects of orbital debris, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has added 2 new departments under its umbrella, the Space Bureau and the Office of International Affairs. The move replaces the agency's International Bureau, which handled licensing and regulation of satellite programs and international telecommunications. The FCC's announcement did not specify what impact, if any, this move would have on amateur radio satellites. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel said at an opening event for the new departments that they would, quote, promote long-term technical capacity to address satellite policies and improve our coordination with other agencies on all these issues, end quote. The departments are expected to coordinate their efforts in such areas as the 2023 World Radio Communication Conference. The conference will take place in Dubai starting on November 20th. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM. Another U.S. government agency is taking a look at whether some frequencies need to be reallocated as more and more wireless devices get on the air. Stephen Kinford, N8WB, brings us that story.
In the United States, an increasing appetite for spectrum from wireless services has spurred the National Telecommunications and Information Administration to find at least 1,500 megahertz of the radio spectrum to meet that demand. The NTIA is looking for input from the public to identify which bands could be repurposed under this new spectrum strategy. The agency said on its website that the strategy is, quote, a government-wide approach to maximizing the potential of our nation's spectrum resources, end quote. The NTIA shares spectrum allocation duties with the Federal Communications Commission. In the United States, hams already share many UHF and microwave bands with government users. To learn more, follow the link in the text version of this week's Newsline script. This is Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Meanwhile, a whole new wireless network of sorts is being looked at for the moon. Let's hear more from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
An LTE 4G network destined for the moon is expected to launch on board a SpaceX rocket later this year, according to plans from the Finnish telecommunications giant Nokia. According to reports on CNBC, it's part of a partnership with NASA that envisions the creation of the first colony on the lunar surface. A message on Nokia's webpage states the network will be designed to support the transmitting of telemetry, biometrics, and sensing applications, and will also be available for HD video and robotics. Nokia states that the high-bandwidth network will be a vital tool in NASA's plan for so-called sustainable exploration of the moon. NASA chose the Finnish telecommunications company in 2020, announcing Nokia's role in the Artemis lunar program to return a human presence to the moon, this time for extended operations by the end of the decade. According to the Nokia website, the network will include an LTE base station with integrated evolved packet core functionalities, LTE user equipment, and RF antennas. The system will have hardware redundancy and, through its software, the capacity for remote operation. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The World Radio Sport Team Championship is going forward this summer in Bologna without one of its key referees, who's become a silent key. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, tells us about him.
The World Radio Sports Team Championship Committee is grieving the loss of a fellow contester and avid DXer from Texas, Richard King, K5NA. Richard had been chosen to be a referee for the WRTC 2022 event in Bologna in July. According to a report on the Daily DX, Richard was electrocuted April 12 while he was assisting another ham taking down a 40-meter antenna. The report goes on to say Richard jumped in at the last moment to try and keep the antenna from getting snagged on a guy wire. The antenna hit a nearby power line. Two nurses who live in the neighborhood began CPR until emergency services could arrive, but Richard died shortly thereafter. He and his wife Susan, K5DU, are well known as serious contesters and DXers. WRTC 2022 organizers issued a statement saying Richard's contribution to the sport of amateur radio will not be forgotten, and his legacy will continue to inspire and guide us in the years to come. Richard belonged to the Central Texas DX and Contest Club. I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Meanwhile, the defending championship team from Lithuania has announced that they will not defend their title when the World Radio Sport Team Championship goes forward in July. The international high-profile contest was postponed from last year because of the pandemic. The withdrawal announcement by defending championship team members Gedimus LY9A and Mindaugas LY4L was posted on the WRTC 2022 Reflector, citing a number of frustrations and deeper differences with the organizers that they said will be keeping them at home. A free course in comprehensive instant character recognition is being offered by CW Innovations with the goal of helping active CW operators learn ways to increase their proficiency. The 10-week classes focus on teaching operators how to help themselves learn Morse code, addressing the mental and emotional roadblocks that have typically halted learners' progress. The class is designed for hams who can currently copy 10 to 15 words per minute and are already actively on the air having QSOs. Visit cwinnovations.net for details. The website includes an application form. What's better than having one great summer camp experience on the air? Having more of it, of course. That's about to become possible as we hear from Kevin Trotman in 5 PRE.
Just as young amateurs prepare for this summer's Youth on the Air America's Camp in Canada, camp organizers themselves learned that their summer experience for young hams has received a $125,000 grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. The funds now assure that the camp experience will continue through 2025 and that each session will become open to more campers than before. The current threshold of 30 will increase to 50 in the 2 years ahead. So pack your bags if you're going this year. Camp starts July 16th, and if you want to learn more or plan ahead for next summer, visit youthontheair.org. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
If you've been wishing for solar maximum to come sooner rather than later in the current cycle, you might just get your wish, according to a group of solar physicists. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, has that story.
The end of this year or sometime next year could bring maximum sunspot activity for solar cycle 25, according to Scott McIntosh of the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, and a team of solar physicists. The team presented findings in a paper in the January edition of the Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences. In the paper, the solar scientists make use of a terminator event during the previous cycle sometime in mid-December 2021 to project the maxima of solar cycle 25 and to forecast the cycle's amplitude. Although some might project differently for the future, this team believes it's best to keep your eye on the skies during the fourth quarter of 2023 and thereafter into the new year. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the N0LAR repeater of the Lamar Area Amateur Radio Club in Southeast Colorado, or on FM radio station KRHJ on 88.3 megahertz on Fridays at 5 p.m. Hungary's National Ham Radio Society want to hear from you. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us why.
Hams around the world are being invited to provide their views and share their experiences about amateur radio through an online survey from the Hungarian Amateur Radio Society. The short survey asks questions about your personal preferences and radio history, but also wants to know what your priorities are, whether it's your operating preferences, your expectations from membership in a national society, or the roles you think a local club should have. There are also questions about whether you know very many active younger operators. The Society is interested in having the survey responses in time for the youngsters on the Air Region 1 camp, which is hosting from the 5th to the 12th of August in Hungary. The group would also like to present the survey results at the IARU General Conference in November. A link to the survey appears in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Hams in the U.S. may notice when they take the survey that the question about license class does not include the option to select the level of FCC license. The creators of the survey recommend that U.S. hams use HAREC, H-A-R-E-C, for extra, novice for general, and other classes, and entry for technician. One of the biggest ham radio weekends in the United States is about to get a little bigger. Here's Jack Parker, W8ISH, with that update.
If Hamvention doesn't give you a big enough dose of amateur radio when you're in Xenia next month, take a side trip to the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting in nearby Westchester, Ohio. The museum expands their hours for visitors during Hamvention and features new exhibits, including a dedicated room for shortwave equipment and amateur radio. Other exhibits include a complete collection of R.L. Drake ham radio equipment that was originally in the lobby of R.L. Drake Corporation in Miamisburg, Ohio. The on-site WC8 VOA ham shack has new updated equipment, and yes, the station will be on the air for guest operators. The museum's expanded hours are Thursday, May 18th and Friday, May 19th from 1 until 9 p.m., Saturday, May 20th from noon till 9 p.m., and Sunday, May 21st from noon till 5 p.m., so that you can plan on a weekend of total radio immersion. You can find more details on the museum website at voamuseum.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Hams who are fans of Grid Tracker will be happy to learn they're not alone. Its development team just won a major award. Here's Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB, with the details.
Congratulations to Stephen Loomis, N0TTL, and the team that produced GridTracker.org for becoming recipients of the 4th Annual Amateur Radio Software Award. This international honor recognizes free, open projects developed in the spirit of sharing to enhance amateur radio operations everywhere. According to the award website, Grid Tracker was chosen for its ability to focus on visualizing radio traffic on FT8 and other modes, simplifying the process of tracking contacts, especially in contests. In the same spirit of sharing that helped create Grid Tracker, Stephen, who lives in Oregon, has asked the awards committee to provide a $300 grant to the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Oregon. The nonprofit advocacy, resource, and educational organization works to help those who have mental illness and assists their families. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6 ITV.
One member of the team is back home from the recent Bouvet Island 3Y0JD expedition, but not for long. John Williams, VK4JJW, tells us what he's got planned next.
Cesar VE3LYC is getting ready to put one of the Fiji Islands back on the air after too many years of things being quiet there. Yanaka Island, IOTA number OC189, was activated first in 1993 and again in 2007, but there's been no radio operation there since then. Cesar will be on the air May 1st through the 5th using the call sign 3D2LYC. DXWorld.net reports that his goal is to log 4,000 QSOs with 2,500 unique stations on 6 continents. He'll be on most of the HF bands and will operate both CW and SSB. While not as harsh an environment as the one found on remote Bouvet Island, Yanaka does not have any visitor accommodation. Cesar said he has been able to locate a generator and gas, as well as food and water, to use during his stay. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In the world of DX, listen for Harry JG7PSJ, who is on the air as JD1BMH from Ogasawara between April 24th and May 5th. Listen for him on 40 through 10 meters, where he's using CW sideband and RTTY. For QSL and other details, follow the link on QRZ.com to the JD1BMH webpage and monitor Twitter for updates. For our final story, we catch up with a very grateful soda activator who has this important message for all those hams who, like him, achieved the coveted status of mountain goat. Tag, you're it. Jim Dameron, M8TMW, tells us his story.
Dave Altman, KO4YLZ, is looking for a few new goats. Actually, he's looking for a few old goats, too. Now, none of this has anything to do with age. It's a reflection of pride in Dave's recent accomplishment. The Soda Activator achieved mountain goat status in the Summits on the Air award scheme on March 30th, 11 months after making his first successful soda activation. When his informal mentor, Dean K2JB, celebrated his new status by saying, "Welcome to the herd," Dave felt inspired to give something back to colleagues in his own region. What better way to identify a local goat than with genuine ear tags, the kind of tags Dave sees often on some of the local livestock. Using the Soda logo with permission, Dave had the durable plastic tags laser printed for all those in the W4 region of Soda who attained the necessary 1,000 points for mountain goat status. He's giving them as gifts to fellow members of the herd, and no, he doesn't expect anyone to attach the tags to their ears. These are for bags used on soda outings. Dave said in a recent email to Newsline that he had already given out 7, but has many more. Using the soda reflector and the groups.io board for his local region, he's told fellow mountain goats to either email their name, call sign, and mailing address, or better still, meet up with him sometime for an activation. Picture it. Just a couple of mountain goats climbing their next summit together. That would not be so bad. This is Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open and close on May 31st. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we would like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to Amateur Radio Software Award, Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT News Service, ARRL, CQ Magazine, CNN.com, Dave Altman, KO4, YLZ, David Bihar, K7DB, DXWorld.net, 425DX News, Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences, Hungarian Amateur Radio Society, Jocelyn Brogue, KD8VRX, VA2VRX, National Telecommunications and Information Administration, Nokia, QRZ.com, shortwaveradio.de, Soto Reflector, Voice of America Museum, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
W8WKY. Time out.
November 8 Whiskey Bravo. The Serenet will start in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. This is November 8 Whiskey Bravo, and I'll be standing by until net time.
Perfect timing, KEAGKO.
Jody, good to hear you, my friend. KDAGKO, haven't heard you in a while. Hey, stay by for the net. Thanks, my friend. November 8 Whiskey Bravo, and I'll be clear until net.
Yeah, I think I keyed with you. I cannot believe that I'm up at this ungodly hour. N9TN, Boring, Tennessee.
Hello, Jody. N8NDL. So glad you popped in yesterday.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I did get a chance to take a look at Baji's release of your note, and then I got a couple other ones that get sent it out to me as well. So we might have to get a copy of that and stick it on the website, R220 website.
Oh, that would be really cool and appreciated. Recognize the out-of-state operator that came in. Just wanted to, real quickly, say it was so good because I was talking actually with, who was it? Well, I think it was Stefan, NAWB, and I says, I can't remember the name of oh yes, it was Jody, and then you came on, and it was like, oh that's great. Well, it was designed to be the ultimate, so let's see how it goes. All right, I'll stand by. Back to you, Jody, and again, recognize the out-of-state station. November 8th, November Delta Lima. Jack here, standing by.
Yeah, staying up to this ungodly hour. Sounds like he's been talking with AAHCS too much. KEAGKO, isn't it?
Yeah, and we heard you, Boring, Tennessee. We got you there. I mean, when you come back, you can check in, but I did hear you. So I'll be a little bit clear until 8 minutes until the Serenet. And AAHCS is listening because he's going to be delivering the trivia question this evening, I believe. So there you have it. Give it back to everyone in about 7.5 minutes when the voice counts down for us. November 8 Whiskey Bravo, and I'll be standing by.
It's a shame that Dick and Jim missed the GOAT's story tonight. KD8SLG.
It is, but he was like one of the big guys for
for the buddy poll for years. He was doing some buddy poll stuff with them. And I'd known the goat guy for a long time. I mean, seeing him, not like knew him personally, but yeah, good story there.
Hey, Jack, if you got a minute to run over to 224-860, I'll catch you there. KEHGKO. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, Jody, I have testing and evaluation at well, essentially all VHF and UHF frequencies, but not on the air right now. Apologize, N8NDL.
The weekly Serenette, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe, starts in 5 minutes.
W8WKY.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
CQ. This is the W8WKY calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night weekly net. Net control this evening is yours truly, Stefan. November 8 Whiskey Bravo. This net uses the club call sign Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee for all traffic. This is a controlled net and all traffic must pass through net control. Emergency traffic may break into this net at any time. Sarah meets on this repeater every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. This net is open to all licensed amateurs, and any amateur is encouraged to check in and join us. The PL tone for this repeater is 114 Mark 8, as one of our participants loves to call it in the morning, our net control people. We'll go through some announcements, followed by a round of in and out check-ins by counties, and then we'll move to regular check-ins, also by counties, and then we'll get our trivia question for this evening from Gary Shorter, Alpha 8, Charlie Sierra. Here are some of tonight's announcements. The next Sarah meeting will be held on May 18th at the Wadsworth Eagles Erie 2117 Club, located at 9953 Rittman Road in Wadsworth at 7 p.m. We will also be streaming the meeting on YouTube Silvercreek ARA channel. Our next VE session will be held on June 3rd at the Sharon Center United Methodist Church, located at 6407 Ridge Road in Sharon Center, Ohio. Test will begin at 10 a.m. Information for these and other announcements can be found on the Sarah W8WKY.org website. That's W8WKY.org website. If anyone else has an announcement or anything for the good of amateur radio, please call W8WKY. Thank you.
W8WKY, WA8KOC.
WA8KOC, go ahead, my friend.
All right, good evening to you, Stefan, and 8WB, and everybody else in here on the net. The one thing that I wanted to make sure that I got across is Bob, KZ8RLD, our recent silent key. He is going to be recognized at the Suffield Fire Department. This is April 29th, this coming Saturday, 1 p.m. April 29th, 1 p.m. Suffield Fire Department, 1256 Waterloo Road, Suffield, Ohio, 44260. Bob would always come in on the net in the mornings and share some time with us. And what a wonderful man. And KZ8BLD, his son Brian, Miss Bob and give their best regards to him for his final send-off. That is happening this Saturday, 1 p.m., Suffield Fire Department. So with that, I'll turn it back to Net. Thank you for allowing me to bust in here and give this information, but it is well warranted. NAWB. Oh, sorry, WAWKY. WA8KOC. Thanks, Stefan.
WA8KOC, we appreciate that. Yeah, I used to love how Bob would come in and say his call sign. He had that way, and the way his voice was when he said the call sign was just so to KZ8RLD. He used to have that really deep voice, and it was like a swagger kind of thing. We're going to miss him. He was a really nice guy. Sad. But thank you for sharing that information, and I will unfortunately not be here this weekend. Otherwise, I would have went in a second. But anyone else that can go, please take the time and do that and celebrate a person who was a good person and a good ham. Any other announcements? Please call WAWKY. All right, nothing heard. I'm using NetLogger this evening, and I'll be taking check-ins with a callback format. As you check in, I'll repeat your call sign back to you, so that way you know that you are rogered onto the net, and then we'll grab the next check-in. For tonight, let me start with just seeing how many people out there are newly licensed hams or hams who are new to our net, who never checked in before or just were licensed and are listening, and just all you have to do, it happens to everyone, is press the button and say your call sign. But if you're newly licensed ham or new to this net, please call WAWKY. All right, nothing heard again. Well, if you're out there listening and you do want to check in and you're newly licensed or new to our area or listening, please, we love when we hear your voice and we hear you talk. So with that, we'd like to take in and out check-ins, and to reduce collisions, we'll take in and out check-ins by county. At this time, we'll take in and out check-ins from Medina County. Medina County, this is WAWKY. I barely heard that. Go ahead and check in one more time. It was like doubled or something.
Q-A-0-5-0. Martin Wadler, in and out.
All right, KE8SFS, appreciate that. Next check-in.
Kilo Delta 8 Echo Papa Charlie, KD8 EPC Dustin and Medina, in and out.
All right, KD8 EPC, appreciate that, Dustin. Next check-in.
AB8OU Zeke and Coventry, in and out.
In and out.
All right, AB8OU, and I think someone was checking in right behind you.
Whiskey Delta 8 Lima Alpha. Good evening, Stefan, in and out.
All right, WD8LLA, we appreciate that. Thanks, Neil. Good to hear you, and good to hear Zeke. Next check-in. We're doing Medina. Let's try to keep it in order. If not, we'll just go wild. So, any other check-ins from Medina? Appreciate all of you, though. All right, no more Medina. Let's do Wayne County. Wayne County, please.
November 8, Delta Romeo Delta, N8DRD, down in Marshallville, in and out.
All right, N8DRD, we appreciate that. Thank you, my friend Olive. Next check-in from Wayne.
Double Kilowatt Delta 8 Romeo Whiskey X-Ray, Scott and Preston, portable.
All right, KD8RWX, we appreciate that. In and out down there in Wayne. Next Wayne check-in.
Echo 8, Lima Vector Alpha. Mobile, Aaron and Worcester, in and out.
All right, KE8LVA. Good to hear you, Aaron, and good to hear everyone. So next, Wayne check-in. Please call.
KE8 IME. David, Sterling, Ohio. In and out.
All right, KE8 IME. Good to hear your voice, my friend. Next, Wayne County, check it.
KE8 VOS, Brent, Fredericksburg. I'll be in and out.
All right, KE8 VOS. Appreciate that, Brent. Thank you so much, my friend, down there in Fredericksburg. Next, Wayne County. All right, let's swap over to where our friend Neil is down in Stark County. Stark County, please call W8WKY.
W8WKY, WD8LLA. Good evening, Steph, and everyone on the net. Sorry I jumped the gun. I didn't catch it was doing counties. Don't have anything for the net tonight. I'm going to lay down and watch some television here. I'm pretty tired, so... 73, thanks for running the net. Back to net control.
All right, I had you on WD8LLA, but it's always great to hear you, my friend Neil. So get some rest, and we'll hear you another time down the line. Any other Stark County check-ins, please call. In and out check-ins.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango. Tom in Canton. We are in and out this evening.
Delta, Brian, Canal Fulton, Ohio. And Fred, thank you for passing on that message about Dad. I appreciate it. KZ8BLD.
All right, we appreciate that, Brian. KZ8BLD, and we loved your father. So, I mean, we absolutely loved him. When he came on the nets and we heard him join in, it was just a great time, and we do thank you for sharing that information with us. And he will always be in our thoughts. KA8MNT, I did hear you there, and I grabbed Brian really quick because he was right on the tail end of your conversation. So I do want to say thank you for both being here this evening. Any other Stark County check-ins, please call. All right, let's try some Cuyahoga County in and out check-ins. Cuyahoga County, this is usually where we have to shake the bush a little bit, but Cuyahoga County in and out, please call W8WKY. All right, any county in any region on any planet. This is where we do the any county. Any counties, please call W8WKY.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carey, Portage Lakes, Summit County. In and out.
W8CTM, I have not heard your voice in so long, Carrie. I was having a Carrie nervous breakdown. You just saved me. Thank you, my friend. Great to hear you out there in Portage Lakes area. Thank you, my friend. Any other check-ins, please call.
Kilo, Foxtrot, 8 Golf, Brian in Norton, Summit County.
RF8G, Brian, appreciate that. And someone was doubling with Brian, whoever that was.
Whiskey, Bravo 8, Victor, Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton.
Yes, WB8VMW, Jim, our morning hold the frequency guy. Well, great to hear you, Jim. Listen for you tomorrow morning. You and Fred. We'll wait to hear you guys on the barometer net. Any other check-ins for in and out?
W8WKY, this is Kilo Echo 8, Victor, Quebec X-Ray, Joe in Akron, Summit County.
All right, Joe, appreciate it. KE8VQX, because I stuttered there for a second. Appreciate that. Any other check-ins?
Kilo, Charlie 3, Quebec, Foxtrot Charlie, KC3, QFC, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, Mike, Titusville, PA.
All right, appreciate that. KC3, QFC, Mike, appreciate that down in Pennsylvania. Next check-in. All right, nothing heard. Great. Now we're going to move to our regular check-in section. Now, this is a section, if you want to listen to Gary, Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra's trivia question and take a shot at it, because there's prizes. Not really, but we do give you kudos at the end of the net, and that's a prize, right? I mean, that's a prize if you win, if you get it right. So we're going to take some check-ins. We'll do it by county again. Medina County for the regular net side. Medina County, W8 WKY.
Kilo Echo 8 Golf Kilo Oscar Jody.
All right, Kilo Echo 8 Golf Kilo Oscar. Appreciate that. Next check-in. I guess you're the lone man in Medina. Wayne County.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG, Nick in Orville.
KD8 SLG, you know, I always forget that Orville's in Wayne County until you check in, so thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. Any other Wayne County?
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry in Shreve.
KC8 HDP, one of our VEs. Appreciate that, Jerry, for checking in this evening. Next check-in from Wayne.
KD8 RWX 41 Preston,
KD8 RWX, give me 1 second. Let me move you down here so that way I have you on the other side. And let me just do a little housekeeping. My apologies, everyone, but give me just do a thing right there. All right, now you're on the good side of the net. Not that it's a bad side, but appreciate that. Wayne County check-ins, please call. All right, any Stark County check-ins for the regular net?
Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India Bravo KE8 UIB John in Massillon.
There he is, KE8 UIB, the nickel at a time guy. I love that. I can't wait to hear it when you come on. All right, any other Stark County?
KG7 IRJ Paul in Massillon.
All right, you know, and I always screw your call sign up. It's KC7, or if you could say it just a little slower, it's my fault, totally.
Kilowatt Germany 7, Italy, Radio Japan.
All right, yeah, it's always me, trust me. Trust me. KG7 IRJ. We appreciate it, Paul. Thank you. We'll get right back to you in just a little bit. Any other Stark County? All right, Cuyahoga County check-ins for the Sarah Net. This is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter net, and we're taking check-ins for Cuyahoga County. This is W8WKY. My call sign is November 8 Whiskey Bravo.
This is November 8, November Delta Lima, N8NDL Jack in Strongsville. Sounding great there, Stefan. Sounds like you got a great net going, and I didn't enter into the announcements. I thought it might be something you would entertain a little later. N8NDL.
All right, N8NDL, we appreciate that, Dr. Jack. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you when we start running this section of the net, but thanks. And any other Cuyahoga County?
November 8, Papa Zulu Delta, Clark in West Park. I have a peppermint milkshake on standby. Back to you, Stefan, N8PZD.
All right, N8PZD, Clark, good to hear you, my friend. Thank you so much. Cuyahoga check-ins, please call. All right, almost done. Summit check-ins. Any Summit check-ins, please call W8WKY.
W8WKY.
November Tango 8 Delta NT8D Dave in Copley.
All right, there he is. The leader of the band. NT8D. We appreciate you being here this evening, Dave. Thank you so much. More Summit County. Any other Summit County?
This is WO3X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray John in Cuyahoga Falls.
All right, WO3X. We do appreciate you. Any other Summit County?
KG4 SCK
Kilo Golf 4, Sierra Charlie Kilo, Mark Copley.
All right, we got you KC4SCK. Appreciate that, Mark, down there. Was that right? Did I get your call sign right?
Yes, sir, Stephen, you nailed it.
All right, I do appreciate that. It threw me off a little bit when I saw Kentucky, but I just wanted to make sure. Any other Summit County, please call. All right, last call until we get our trivia question. This would be any counties, anywhere. Any counties, anywhere. Please call W8WKY, and we'll get this show on the road.
King Charles 8, Fox Queen Victor, Portage County. RKQB, Portage County.
All right, KC8, FQB, we appreciate that, Mark. Any other people, anywhere, any counties?
November 9, Tango, November. Again, N9TN. Name here is JJ, located in Boring, Tennessee. I'm in Sullivan County, and that is in Tennessee. So, back to you, Nat.
N9TN, yeah, I hear you all every morning on the barometer, Net, and I will be your way soon on a fishing trip. So I'll be down there in La Follette, Tennessee. So appreciate you being on the net. We'll get back to you in just a little bit. Any other check-ins from anywhere? All right, I haven't heard any more, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw Gary right there. And ladies and gentlemen, if I had a drum roll, we were allowed to play music. Boy, would I be doing something different on this net. But here is our current trivia person and our new president, and there should be a drum roll there or whatever. So anyways, Alpha 8, Charlie Sierra. Gary, you are up, my friends. Great to have you here this evening. And what trivia question do you have for us?
Good evening, Stefan, Sarah, and friends. W8WKY, this is AA8CS, and we do have a trivia question this evening. Stefan, I am a big fan of science fiction film, so this is where we're going tonight with our trivia question. And here it is. Which iconic sci-fi film was snubbed for an Academy Award over CGI effects? I'll say it again. Which iconic sci-fi film was snubbed? Snubbed, can you imagine? For an Academy Award over CGI effects. Your choices are Alpha, Blade Runner, B, E.T., The Extraterrestrial, C, Terminator 2, D, Tron. I'll give you your choices again. Alpha, Blade Runner, Baker, E.T., The Extraterrestrial. Letter C, Terminator 2, and choice D is Tron. And I do want to say I have seen all four of these movies at least twice. So there you have it. Back to net. W8WKY. This is AA8CS.
AA8CS, W8WKY. Wow, Gary. Yeah. You're just, you're laying them out just like when Russ laid them out. So that's a good one. That's a really, really good. I love sci-fi. But we're going to send it down the chain and see what we come up with. So let's start at the very top, and that is KE8. GKO, W8WKY. Jody, you're up, my friends. Great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question and answer is?
Well, we'll take a stab at it. This is KE8GKO, Jody in Lafayette Township, as our friend Russ would say. And we're going to go with a stab with, we'll go with Tron, D. And that'll be my answer. And then hopefully everybody's been playing radio and having fun. That's all for me tonight. KE8GKO, back to net control.
KEHGCO WAWQI. We appreciate you, Jody, and that's a great answer. I'm wondering how many other people will have that one, or one of the other three. I guess that's how trivia works. KD8 SLG WAWQI. Nick, you're up, my friend. Our brand new vice president. It's great to have you here this evening, my friend. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Just Nick.
WAWKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Stefan and everyone here on the Club Net. I would like clarification from Gary about something with the trivia question tonight. I'm going to throw that out there already. Are we talking about any Academy Awards or Best Picture in particular?
Go ahead, Gary.
Back to the net, this is WO3X.
All right, Nick. Well, I got it. It's not Best Picture. It would have been one of the subcategories. Obviously, probably special effects would be my guess, since the issue was CGI graphics. So that's what we're talking about, and those are your choices. So. Get out from behind the back of the bus there. Well, you're not in the back of the bus tonight, are you? At any rate, that's hopefully that clarifies it. WAWKY, AA8CS.
KD8SLG, you are up again, my friend.
KD8SLG returning. Thank you for that, Gary. I'm going to go with ET. Because it missed out on a big award that night, and I think that was why. But hey, good to hear everybody out there. Thanks for having me. I'll be driving the bus 3 days next week on the Barometer Net, by the way. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe. So be sure to tune in. And tomorrow's Wednesday. So 1 o'clock, we link up with the Boredom Breaker Net, so don't miss that if you want to get in on that action. And of course, we have the Beacon Net tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, early check-ins at 9:30, right here on the WAWKY. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. This is KD8SLG, back to Net Control.
KD8SLG, WAWKY, we appreciate you being here, Nick, and all that you do for the club and the repeater and being in net control on so many of the nets here. And yeah, I can't wait. I am going to be turning in my keys, I believe this year by the end of the year, and then I'm going to put my name in the hat and see which, if someone will allow me to do one of the Barometer nets in the morning. So I really would like to be part of the big boys club. I'll finally be a big boy. But anyways, I do appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you so much. KC8 HDP Jerry. It's great to have you here this day in Shreve, one of my favorite places, along with Portage Lakes. You're up. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Well, good evening, Stefan, and good evening to everyone on the net. Good evening, Gary. Thank you for the trivia question. Boy, all of these are special effect heavy films here. I guess I will go with Alpha Blade Runner. Seems like a good choice to me, although I don't know. Great to hear everyone on the net. Enjoyed NVIS Day on Saturday. We had a good turnout in Worcester. We had 9 people show up. And thanks to everyone who showed up and everyone who operated. Don't have anything else, so I'm going to send it back to you, Stefan. WAWKY in the net from KC8HDP 73.
W8WKY.
KC8HDP, WAWKY. Thanks, Jerry, for being here. Yeah, I heard you guys. We were at the Medina Comms setup, which was over at Fred's place in Columbia Station, so we did hear you. We actually, Bob was on, who's also a member of Sarah. He was on first, and he actually made a contact with Doug Hunter and somebody else. I couldn't remember. But we were testing out 4 different antennas. 3 of them actually worked pretty good. One of them we were trying to figure out later on, but anyways, it was good. And then I got another suggestion from George Rydell this week, which I'm going to be hooking up when I come back from my trip and figuring that out, because I think I have a really good NVIS antenna. But that's a great day always. Great day. Good fun, and we get to find out which antennas would do best when we're actually in an emergency. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jerry, and it was great to hear you guys down there. KD8RWX, W8WKY. Scott, you're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this day. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
All right. Just wanted to start out with saying hello to everybody on the net and anybody that's listening. I'm just going to go with a uneducated guess because I don't pay attention to any awards when it comes to movies. I haven't really been a big movie watcher since the early 2000s probably. But I will watch stuff after that time to settle. So I'm going to go with B, Bravo, as my answer blindly. So that's all I can think of. And I will go ahead and send it back to you. Then give me an RWX portable back to net.
KD8RWX, W8WKY. We appreciate that. We got you down for Bravo. Bravo. Thank you, my friend. And Gary is tabulating. I can hear, you know, he's only just down the road a couple 100 miles. No, he's just down a little bit. I can hear those tabulations, like when I could hear when Russ was tabulating. I think that's what it is. It's either that or it's the sound of cans being opened. I'll just leave it right there. KE8UIB, W8WKY. John, you're up, my friends. Great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
NAWB from KE8UIB. Good evening, Steph, and everybody out there on the net. And the trivia question. Okay, so given the fact I was born in the late 70s and a child of the 80s, and I know at some point in time I've seen all four of these films, I definitely have to choose B, E.T., because that just oh man, the special effects in that was just horrible. Let's get to the point, okay? So yeah, I'll choose E.T. for sure, even though I do love that movie, definitely. So we'll choose B, Bravo for that. Hope everybody out there is doing good tonight, as I was sitting here earlier messing with this Zygu G90, trying to figure this out and stuff, and enjoying the new radio, that's for sure. But still a little bit to learn, most definitely. And waiting on an InFed setup to come for it too, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. But with that, you guys know me. I love to live that $5 dream, a nickel at a time. And with that, this is KE8UIB. I will hand this back over to Net Control. 7-3, y'all.
KE8UIB, there he is, nickel at a time. I love that, man. $5 dream, a nickel at a time. I love that, man. It's just like, it just flows off the tongue. Thank you so much. Great news on the new radio and stuff, and also the antenna and stuff, the InFed that's coming. So, and your answer for Gary, he's tabulating. We can hear him. He's tabulating. KG7IRJ, W8WKY. Paul, you're up, my friend. Great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
KG7IRJ. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tron. I like this one. I hear about it.
All right, I think I have it. I think it was KG7IRJ. You were a little noisy there, but I did hear your answer and I believe Gary heard it too. I believe you said Tron, and so Gary will tabulate that one. He'll throw that into the big blue plastic bucket, and then he's got a red plastic, a yellow, and a green plastic bucket. So he throws all those in, and then at the end he mixes them all back together and then sorts them out again. I think that's how it's done. But anyways, it was great to have you here this evening, Paul, KG7IRJ. All right, 1 second. All right, we have November 8th, November Delta Lima, our friend Dr. Jack. You're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is? And I think you have a small piece of news you want to share with something brand new, I think, in the compact antenna line, if you want to take a second to do that.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Stefan, and all. But as far as the trivia question, oh yes, I love sci-fi too. Logic seems to dictate there's some good information out there on the net that it would be B, Bravo, with ET. But I'm going to go with my initial choice, and that's A, Blade Runner. I'll unkey and just give a little information and answer questions, if there are any. I'll unkey for a moment. Okay, thanks for this opportunity. It's really, I'm just reaching out to any 220 megahertz, 1.25 meter operators out there, just to let them know there's another option. There's an increasing group of 220 enthusiasts across the country, and many of them have used the compact antenna 7-inch 2-meter 220 440 antenna and really liked it. But then when they saw the QST article in August of last year on the 9-inch 2-meter 440 plus, there were actually quite a few requests on developing the quote-unquote ultimate 220 megahertz antenna, a 9-inch one, with greatest gain and maximum gain in efficiency, and all the magnetic field resonator in there, the elliptical polarization in the far field, the noise reduction, all those qualities, but just maximize it, for both mobile and base. So I decided I would. Had my hands full, but I decided I would anyway, and it's the 220 max for maximum. It's really cool, and just wanted to or appreciate the invitation to extend the information for any 220 enthusiasts. Doing a great job, Stefan. So interesting, all the comments here. W8 WKY Stefan, N8 NDL.
N8 NDL, W8 WKY. We appreciate that, Dr. Jack. And yeah, that's a nice looking antenna. And my radio, my 9700 does do that. So all I got to do is when I'm getting ready to move it, like we talked about, I'm thinking about throwing another one up there on the same mount, and then I'll have that capability as well. So very cool, my friend. Very, very cool, and I can't wait to hear more as we go along and see how well that one does, as the other ones did well. So thank you, my friend, and I'll get back with you in the next day or so. N8PZD, W8WKY. Clark, you're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Phone home. E.T. Phone home. My answer is B, and we'll be standing by for the real answer later on. Thanks for taking my call, N8PZD.
N8PZD, we got you there, W8WKY. Thanks, Clark, for being with us this evening. We do appreciate that. And yeah, he's going to give us that answer. He's still tabulating. I can hear the tabs that are elating right now. That's what it is over there. NTAD. W8WKY. David, you're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question is? And thank you so much for corralling all of us net control operators up in one big bunch. I want to thank you for that.
W8WKY.
Well, thank you, Stefan, very much. I saw all of those movies in the year that they came out. The only one of the ones I wouldn't see twice necessarily, and I might go back and see it again. I really was disappointed in the ending of E.T.
if he could have done that at the end of the movie, he could have done it any time earlier in the movie and saved all those kids a lot of trouble. But my gut reaction when you first heard when I first heard the question, and you actually gave me the answer. So my gut reaction is D, Delta, Tron. I have some kind of vague memory about that one. I want to thank Nick for picking up some barometer nets, and boy, it's so nice to have a gung-ho net control operator in the barometer lineup. And Stefan, you are either going to have to fight between Fred and Gary as to which one is going to give up their day, or maybe you can get them to bribe you. I don't know how it will turn out. I would try going for the bribe first. Anyways, hope everybody's having a good one, and got bad news about the car and good news about the boat, so, you know, it turned out to be a wash today there, Stefan. I'll throw it on back to net control. I hope everybody's having a great one. Great to see everybody at the meeting. Hope to see everybody next time. And jam session at Chili's, first Wednesday of the month. WAWKY, NTAD.
NTAD, WAWKY, we appreciate that, Dave. Yeah, Brian would be nice. I'm thinking maybe an ICOM 7600. That might be a nice bribe. Oh, forget it. Maybe a cheeseburger. Oh, they know me. It would be a cheeseburger. I'd be just as happy with a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. All right, my friends. Great to have you, and we'll hear you next Monday. As a matter of fact, and I'll be listening to you, next Monday, as normal. WO3X, W8WKY. John, you are up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question and answer is?
Good evening, Stefan, and all on the net. This is WO3X. Starting on Saturday, April 15th, and then ending at 5 p.m. Saturday, April 22nd, was a special event station. Beaver Valley, or maybe it was Beaver County, ARA, 100-year special event station. So they were on, supposedly going to be on 40 meters, 20 meters, 15 meters, and 10 meters. So I attempted to contact them all that week, and so I ended up making a Parks on the Air contact on the 17th, and then on Saturday the 22nd, I ended up making a 40-meter contact with the station that was doing NVIS. So I actually didn't participate in the NVIS special event, but I made one contact, and so he was in New York. And so I tried DX Summit.fi and all that stuff. I finally got somebody to come on board with that special event station, and if you made one contact, then that was okay, and if you made a contact with that special event station on two bands, then you could get a special event PDF. If I requested one. So I did, and completed that only 15 minutes before the end of the special event. So that worked out. So regarding the trivia question, let's see, I'm going to go with D Delta Tron. So with that, back to the net, W8WKY, this is WO3X.
WO3X, W8WKY, we appreciate that, John. Thank you so much for sharing. Good information and very cool. Thank you. And can't wait to hear you again, and I'm glad you got to do all of that. KG4SCK, Mark, W8WKY, you are up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Bravo. KG4SCK. Yeah, I recall some hoopla about ET, and that's all I can recall, so it's just my guess. And that's it. Back to W8WKY, net control.
KG4SCK, W8WKY. Yeah, we do appreciate that, and yeah, I love that. I haven't said hoopla in years. but thanks for reminding me of that fantastic word, hoopla. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of talk back then, too, about several of those movies, as a matter of fact. And, you know, who doesn't love a height-challenged individual in a rubber suit? You know, I mean, I'm just saying, E.T., you know? Okay. There were several other movies that were like that, too, sci-fi ones that I really loved, I really appreciated growing up, and it was a fantastic time. That era was a fantastic time, whether the CG was good or not, and Gary had a good trivia question this evening. KC8FQV, W8WKY. Mark, you're up, my friend. It's great to have you here tonight. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
All right, Stefan, KC8FQV. I'm going to say Delta. We'll try that one. And, yeah, it's going good. I was going to go to the Lear meeting up there in Willoughby today. They had that Firehouse Grill. There was a few things I wanted to save on the computer, and I was going to take that with me because I wanted to be able to run that logger, but we didn't go up there. So we're home. So we're doing the net. But I would have done the net from there, too. I would have checked in. So I want to say Delta, and I'll send it back to net. I don't think there's anything else they have that would make anyone rich or famous. And great seeing Tusco Ham Fest on Facebook, although that was good. They had a couple pictures and some video. So back it comes, Stefan. So KCFTV. Oh, in a month we'll be done with Dayton. So next month, don't be surprised. The meeting possibly could be a little thin because everyone will be heading for Dayton. So those that want to get the bargains and want to be there in the midst of all that smell of electronic and ham gear, KCFTV.
KC8FQV, W8WQI. Mark, we appreciate you being here. Yeah, that is a great time, actually, you know, being down there in Xenia for Hamvention. That's a great time, you know. And, you know, I duplicate that smell sometimes. I just get a whole bunch of capacitors and hook them up to a chain, and I hook them all up to a 24-volt battery. And when they all pop at the same time, I smell that wonderful burning smell of electronics right here in the basement in Sharon Township, Ohio. But I understand what that's about. And you know what? If we're a little low on the meeting or a little light, that's okay, because we know where everybody's at, and that's a great thing. We'd rather have them there and know that they're having a great time than anywhere else. So let's move over to our friend N9TN W8WKY Jason down there in Boring, Tennessee. It's great to have you here this evening. And what do you think Gary's trivia question is? And the other big question is, are you without adult supervision this evening?
W8WKY.
All right, well, good evening to you. And yes, I do not have adult supervision. I think she's in there reading her book. But she could probably hear me if she tried. But anyway, I just want to say that it's an ungodly hour. I'm a morning person. This is about my bedtime right here. So I'm heading that way. I need all the beauty sleep I can get. trust me. But the trivia question is E.T. And I'm going to disagree with most of the audience here. I think E.T., I really like the ending. I would love to see them redo that movie, though. We need a current take on that movie. I think it would be better now than it was back then. Anyway, nothing else going on here. Just enjoying the evening here in the radio room, and checked into a few local nets, and of course now with you guys. All right, I'll catch y'all in the morning. N9TN, Spring, Tennessee, and the name here is JJ, by the way. You called me by my given name, and we don't do that on the air here. N9TN, back to net. Thank you.
N9TN, W8WQI, JJ, we appreciate you being with us this evening. Yeah, see, I don't get to run the barometer net until I retire. I do get to fill in every once in a while, like if I have a day off or not doing anything. But so, I hear you, but until they start speaking it and saying JJ, I just don't know. And besides, I followed what was on NetLogger. Pulled from the annals of the FCC. All right. Well, anyways, I do appreciate you being with us this evening, and it's great to hear that she's actually in another room and you get to work radio. What else? Before we move over to the trivia question and answer, let me see and shake the tree a little bit and see if there's anybody else out there that would like to join the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter net. If you'd like to join, we'll take a few more check-ins. We'll send it back to Gary, maybe give the trivia question one more time, and then we'll close it all out with the big old answer. But if you're listening there, anybody, maybe with the last name of Berger, or anyone who'd like to check in, please call WKY.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Mike over in Seville.
All right, Kilo Echo 8, QWE, Quebec Whiskey Echo. We appreciate that. Any other check-ins, late check-ins, please call.
Kilo Charlie 8, Papa Bravo Victor.
All right, KC8, I'm sorry. KC8, PBV. I got you there. Thanks for that. Any other late check-ins, please call.
November 8, Long-Tailed Rat.
All right, N8LTR. I think that's my mother-in-law. Well, no, it's not. I'm not married. I just had to throw it out. It just sounded like it fit there. N8LTR, we appreciate you being with us. Any other late check-ins, please call.
K5 CFY, Kilo 5 Charlie, Foxtrot Yankee, Ray in Tulsa.
All right, K5 CFY, we got you on the list, my friends. Great to hear you in the evening, hear you in the morning a lot, so thank you for being with us. And any other late check-ins, please call. W8WKY.
This is for WB4
Please check in KD8, JNX Burger, Ripman.
All right, I got you on there, KD8JNX. I did hear someone that I think was checked in the morning a lot from Florida, and I didn't get the call sign, but if you want to come back and give us your call sign, we've been asking about you and trying to figure out where you are or where you were. So if you want to call back in, and I got you on there, Brooker, KD8JNH. Whoever that was, and I think it was our Florida friend.
Yeah, this is Whiskey Bravo 4 Alpha India Zulu. Yeah, I've been taking, I went through a sabbatical from ham radio, sort of, and just haven't, that's all early to get up at 7 o'clock just to check into what, I'm sorry. But I do check into the beacon not all the time. Be friendly.
All right, WB4AIZ, I got you on the log. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, we picked up a bunch of late check-ins, so let me send it back to Gary for 1 second. Gary, you mind repeating the question for the last, I think it's 5 new people, and we picked up Brooker, too, if you don't mind. Gary, 8CS.
Oh, wow. Do we get extra points for picking up Brooker? I sure hope so. And good evening to you, Brooker. It's been a while. Okay, the trivia question. Which iconic sci-fi film was snubbed for an Academy Award over CGI effects? Saying it again. Which iconic sci-fi film was snubbed for an Academy Award over CGI effects? Your choices are Alpha, Blade Runner, Beta, E.T., The Extraterrestrial, C, Terminator 2, and D, Tron. And those are your choices. Back to net. This is AA8CS.
AA8CS, we appreciate you running that down for us again, Gary. Thank you so much for that. And we'll start at the top of the short list. There's like 6 new people we picked up, and then we'll go to the trivia question answers afterwards. So KE8QWE, W8WQA. Mike, great to have you here this evening. Good to see you at the meeting the other day. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Well, I have seen every single one of those movies more than once. Some I like a little better than others, but I really don't know what the answer is. But I'll tell you, I'm going to go with A, Blade Runner, because it don't get better than that. So, what have I been up to? Well, I was on the Cincinnati Liars Net. That was kind of painful. 80 meters wasn't cooperating. I could only hear about 2/3 of the people, and that was about the same for everyone on VNet. It just wasn't cooperative. Just worked around here. I mowed our lawn. I mowed the neighbor's lawn because he still isn't able to handle it, and just did a few odds and ends. We went out with some friends for supper over at Marie's, and other than that, haven't been up to a whole lot. So, with that, everybody, have a great night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Back to net control.
KE8QWE, W8WQI. Thanks, Mike, for being here this evening. It's good to hear you, and good to hear that you had a pretty good day today. Nice things that you did, especially helping your neighbor. KC8PBV, W8WQI. David, you're up, my friends. Great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
I'm going to go with Tron. I'm just guessing, though. I know, no idea. I've seen them all, but none of them really ring a bell as being the ones that I think that got skipped over. But anyhow, been busy today. Finally got up my end-fed half-wave antenna and can now operate on HF pretty well. But happy to have that up. Just wanted to check in tonight and say hi to everybody. And just have a good day. This is Kilo, Charlie 8, Papa, Bravo, Victor.
All right, KC8PBV, W8WQI. Thanks, David, for being with us this evening. Thanks for your trivia question answer. Gary's tabulating. I hear him. They're tablets, and they're getting lating, whatever that is. So, NALTR, W8WQI. William, you're up, my friends. Great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
W8WKY.
Well, I was late coming into the net, out putting together a bunch of little gang box for a job on Thursday over at KOC's place. We're going to put his new Diamond V2000 up at the full 30 feet and feed it with high-quality feed line and put a polyphaser in and grounding and all that stuff. So I got quite a little bag packed. A few ground rods, and I'm sure I'm going to be whipped at the end of the day, Thursday. For the snub, I think that was Tron. I think they snubbed Tron. I think all the others got it. They got. I know Blade Runner got ravishing accolades. Of course, it was an excellent film, and and the director's cut's even better. So anyway, I'll wish the group good evening and turn it back to Net Control, N8LTR.
N8LTR, W8WKY, we appreciate you being with us this evening. William, thank you so much for joining us. And, it just makes this net a lot fuller that you guys joined us and made it just fluffed up the numbers a bit. And that's really nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody being here. But thank you so much for that. All right, K5CFY, W8WKY. Ray, it's great to have you here this evening down there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
W8WKY, this is K5CFY, and I'm going to go with B Bravo, I guess. I'm just guessing, but anyway, thanks for getting me in here. I was a little late. We had a club net down here, and I was helping log, but anyway, good to have Mark and Nick come out there and check into the net. We definitely appreciate that. Good to hear everybody on the barometer net that's in here tonight, and all the net controllers. So anyway, I'll give it back to you, but hope to hear everybody on the boarding breaker tomorrow. 1 o'clock your time. I think the dynamic duo of the Sasquatch and Nick will be running the first hour of the border breaker net. So hope everybody comes and join them. Thanks for getting me in there, and I'll give it back to you, Stefan, and you did a great job. 73 K5CFY.
K5CFY, W8WKY. Don't leave yet, Ray. I have one quick question for you. I got a text from N8NDL, and he's got a quick, direct question, if you don't mind taking it really quick. N8NDL, go ahead, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much, Stefan. Hello, Ray. K5CSY. This is N8NDL. November 8, November Delta Lima up in Strongsville. I just wondered, Ray, with you being down in Tulsa, Oklahoma area, do you know my dear friend Dr. Marcus Durham down there? Kilo Echo 5 Bravo November Lima, KE5BNL. And let me just throw that right to you there, Ray, if you're still there.
5CFY, yes, I'm still. Met him, I think, at the Hamfest a couple of times.
Oh, Roger on that. Yes, a very learned and kind gentleman. Very nice family. Dr. Marcus Durham, extra class IEEE, and he had invited me to speak down there in Oklahoma to a ham radio group affiliated with the church there, and then spent a couple of days. So when I heard Tulsa, Oklahoma, I says, I got to ask Ray if he knows Dr. Durham. All right, well, thanks so much. Say hello for me if you, next time you, of course I text with him all the time, but still, what a coincidence. Well, more in life I recognize there really aren't coincidences. Ray, I hope you're doing well down there in Tulsa. N8NDL, I'll turn it back to Ray, who I'm sure will turn it back to Stefan. N8NDL, standing by.
N8NDL, K5CFY, we'll give it back to Stefan there. K5CFY, we're clear.
All right, K5CFY and N8NDL, we appreciate you being with us, Ray, this evening. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll hear you in the morning, definitely. And thanks, Dr. Jack, for the quick response to him. WB4AIV, W8WKY. Charles, Chuck, you're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. If you're still with us, what do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Boy, that's a hard one. think I've seen all of them. And I was going to say the effects, I don't know about the effects of that, but City Tron, I don't know. I thought Tron was pretty good. Effects. Anyways, I'll fix it WB4AIZ.
All right, WB4AIZ, W8WKY, down there in Florida, which I can't wait to get back there one of these days. I was there about 2 years ago, and I want to get back again, so soon. KD8JNH, W8WKY, brother, it is so good to hear your voice. It was like when I heard Carrie's voice earlier today. The two people's voices that I was chosen for. You're up, my friend. It's great to have you here this evening. What do you think Gary's trivia question answer is?
Oh, good evening, Stefan, and good evening, everybody. KD8J and X, not H. But that's okay. Nice hearing you, Stefan, and Gary, and especially hear Dr. Jack in there. Haven't talked to Dr. Jack in a while. And as for the trivia question, I have to say Tron. Maybe some of you knew. Tron was a Walt Disney movie, and it was a flop, or an egg drop. And a couple weeks ago, I went to Disney World to ride the new Tron roller coaster, or light cycle, or whatever they call it at Disney. And yeah, they laid an egg on that one too. Just a heads up, anybody, don't pay $10,000 to go to Walt Disney World or ride that new ride. It was an egg drop. Go ride Gardens of the Galaxy. That one's worth it. But with that, I'll turn it back to you, Stefan. Nice hearing everybody. Got to get out of here. I just got home from work, and I got to get a shower and get ready to go to bed because I got to go right back to work. Everybody have a good and a safe night. KD8JNX.
Be delivered. Or how do I apply for a Lowe's credit card? Go ahead.
How do I get your phone number?
KD8JNX. It's KD8JNX. W8WKY. Thanks, Brooker, for being here this evening. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. And somebody is talking on the radio or broadcasting.
They got the hammer down.
KD8SLG, do you happen to see who that might be on your end looking at the console?
W8WKY and 8WB, KD8SLG. It's coming in through our app, so it's just showing up as coming in through W8WKY. Sounds like somebody's sitting on their microphone in their car. I think I heard a turning signal.
All right, I guess it is, but all right. Well, good to have you here, Brooker, and we'll see if we can get through this and then figure out if maybe the person will hear us in a little bit. But let's move over to Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra. Gary, give us that trivia question answer if you can hear me.
Yeah, roger that, Stefan. I hear you just fine, and hopefully you're hearing me just fine as well. Can you give me a radio check?
I went in the back.
Yeah, I hear you fine. A little bit of a bump in the background because you're doubling, but nothing that we can't hear and tell us. So if you want to give us that trivia question answer, that'd be fine. And we appreciate your trivia question. Man, was it a good one tonight, Gary. You're up, my friend.
If we want to put them in the landscape somewhere or, whatever. So.
Boy, this is just incredibly annoying. Okay, so the question was, which iconic sci-fi film was snubbed for an Academy Award over CGI? First, let's talk about E.T., because many of you chose that. And E.T. did win a number of awards, and ironically, Best Original Score, Best Sound Effects, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects. So E.T. was not the right answer, although it was certainly a good choice.
Timeout. 15-second lock.
WAWKY. WAWKY. Let me see if I got it or if the person is still broadcasting. All right, good. Go ahead, Gary. Alpha 8, Charlie Sierra. I don't know what happened, but I believe they might have found their system was on and they shut it down. So, or else at least pushing the button. If you want to start over the top and tell us about the trivia question and answer. Thank you, my friend.
All right, Stefan. Yeah, there's cats everywhere, aren't there? Okay. Anyway, the answer is D. Tron. E.T. won 4 Academy Awards, including the Best Visual Effects, which is what we're talking about here with CGI effects. CGI, obviously, and for everybody who already knows this, computer-generated imagery. Tron was released in 1982. It was a sci-fi cult classic. Brooker said that it was the film laid an egg, and he's pretty much correct as far as the story and the drama line was kind of it was all right, but it was a absolute stunning masterpiece as far as CGI was concerned. Let's see. What's fascinating about the nominations for Tron, it was a heavily CGI-enhanced movie, and it had wowing special effects, especially back then. When I saw it for the first time in 1982, I was wowed. I couldn't hardly believe how wonderful the CGI was. And the thing about that, if you think about it at this point, if you look at it now on the high-definition TVs and stuff, not so awfully cool as it was back then. But at any rate, that's your answer. I won't go through the rest of this. But Ken Perlin did get an Academy Award 15 years later. Let me grab a quick second here. For technical achievement for his invention of the Perlin noise. And what that is a computer visual effect that he actually created to make the movie Tron. And that Perlin noise is a type of, anyway, inadvertently, or after the fact, 15 years, Tron did finally get an Academy Award, although it was obviously to Ken Perlin. That's all I got. Stefan, have a fabulous evening. Everybody have a fabulous evening. 73 all. WAWKY. This is AA8CS. 73, guys.
AA8CS, WAWKY, along with my call sign, November 8 Whiskey Bravo. Gary, it is a pleasure having you do trivia. It's a pleasure having you as president and Nick as vice president. And I can't wait until I can join the Barometer Net in the morning. And I will be taking bribes, by the way, because I think Dave wants that to happen. Between you and Fred, I will be taking the highest bribe for whoever would like to relinquish one of their nets. But anyways, other than that, I kid immensely. But it was great to have you here. It was a good trivia question. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in tonight's Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter net. Don't forget that breakfast at Bueller's in Wadsworth on Saturday mornings, and at this time, We are going to close the net with 36 check-ins. 36 check-ins. I love those numbers. I love when we're past the double digits and the twos and the threes. So, and I'm on again in 2 months. So 2 months on the 4th Tuesday, maybe I'll try to go for 40 or 50. I'm kidding, but it's always a pleasure being with you. I say this all the time before I close the net. I love amateur radio. I love this club. I love everything that we do, and I love and appreciate every single one of you for what you do and who you are. Amateur radio has just been so good to me and so good to all of us, and I love the fact that we get to use it not only for fun things like this, but also for emergencies, and that is what we're in it. We are a service of the FCC, and I want to thank every one of you for taking the time to get your licenses and actually do it. And if there's any people listening, please feel free to come to a VE session. Look us up on WAWKY.org and take the test. Study for the test, take the test, and you too can be on amateur radio, not just here, but anywhere in the world. This repeater is now returned to normal amateur radio use. November 8 Whiskey Bravo and Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee are both clear. 73, my friends. Everyone have a great evening and a great week.
This is WO3X. I jumped to another net when a 15-second walkout came on. Now, what was the answer?
I believe the answer was Tron. Tron was the answer.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's what I chose. Thanks. This is WO3X. I'll be clear. This frequency.
W8WKY. Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2373 with a release date of Friday, April 21st, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST in the Amateur Radio Newsline report date of Friday, April 21st, 2000. The NTIA has more and more wireless devices International Bureau in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2000.